Hi there. In this video, we're going to do some dimensional analysis, but in particular, we're going to focus on cubic units and multi-label units. So those are just a bit trickier than some other straightforward ones. So I've already done this video twice and my dog barked through both of them. So I'm just going to skip to D and F in these problems that I have already written, because those are sort of the trickiest ones that we want to look out for. So let's start with D, that's over here. 4.733 cubic yards to cubic meters. So you always start with what you were given. And I don't know yards to meters. I know it's almost the same because I remember in elementary school that a yardstick was also called a meter stick. So I know it's close. So I did look it up and it turns out that it's 1.09 yards for every 1 meter. Okay, now the problem is I don't have yards, right? I'm trying to get rid of yards cubed. So the more official way to do it is to do parentheses around both the number and the label and put the cubed outside of it. That is a reminder that you need, when you're doing the calculator, the calculation itself, you need to cube the number, not just the label. And same thing up here, we're trying to get to cubic meters. So in terms of conversions, we only need one conversion factor to get what we need. It's just the trickiness of the cubing. So we have the 4.733 in the numerator times 1 meter cubed. So 1 cubed is 1. So we don't have to do anything with the numerator, but then we're going to divide by 1.09 cubed. So make sure you're using parentheses and the calculator. And our starting number had 4 sig figs. You always just go with how many sig figs were in the number they gave you. So 4 sig figs will give us 3.655 meters cubed. Our yards cubed canceled and this became meters cubed. If you are nervous that you won't remember to cube the numbers, another way you could think about it is 4.733 cubic yards times 1.09 yards per meter times 1.09 yards per meter. Same thing. And you can do it 3 times because label-wise, yards cubed is equal to yards times yards times yards. So this cancels 1, 2, 3, and you're left with meters times meters times meters, which would be meters cubed. So that is sort of the safer way of doing it. Okay, so now that we've seen cubic units, we're going to do something a lot messier, which is F. So in F, we're going from 8.75 pounds per cubic foot, and we're trying to get to grams per milliliter. So I'm going to start with, when you have a double label, you always just start with one of them. So we can either do pounds to grams or the cubic feet to the milliliters. I'm just going to do pounds to grams because I can do that in 1. So I happen to know, because I've done this oddly enough times, that 1 pound is 454 grams. So pounds and pounds have canceled. And right now my current label is grams per cubic foot. So grams, done. That was the first thing we needed. But we still need per milliliter. And here's where it gets really weird. Cubic feet to milliliter. Milliliter is not cubed. It is already a measure of volume. So how does that work? Well, there is a conversion that every chemistry student should know because it is incredibly useful, especially when doing density problems. 1 cubic centimeter is 1 milliliter. So really, in terms of the cubic, we need to get feet cubed into centimeters cubed, and then that is the same thing as milliliters. So let's start with feet to inches. Feet is on the bottom, so I'll put it on top. And in 1 foot, there are 12 inches. But we need cubic So just like I showed you, the parentheses goes around the number and the label so that you remember to do the cube of the number as well. If I just wrote 1 foot, 12 inches cubed, you're only going to write the cubic label. You're going to forget to cube the number. Guarantee it. See it over and over. So use those parentheses. Okay, so that will get us our feet cubed gone. And then we have inches. So I want to get rid of the inches. And again, one of these things, I've just done it enough times. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. You'd be welcome to look that up in a table or on the internet. But again, I want cubes. And then lastly, because now inches is gone, or inches cubed is gone, 1 centimeter cubed is 1 milliliter. So I finally have let me just get my color here, grams per milliliter. So now we need to do the calculator. And this is where we are going to be extra careful. So numerators first, 8.75 times 454 times 1 cubed, which is 1, times 1 cubed, which is 1, times 1. So we only have to do the 8.75 times 454. And then the numerator. The feet cubed is assumed 1 times 1 pound, so that's just a 1. 12 cubed for the 12 inches. So we need 12 cubed. And then that is also multiplied by, so lots of parentheses here. Let's see. All right, 12 cubed times 2.54 cubed for the centimeters part. So 2.54 to the third. And then all of that is being divided. So hopefully you hit all your buttons correctly. And going back to the beginning, we had 3 sig figs here. So a final answer would be 0.140 grams per milliliter. And there you have it. So my advice is 1 label at a time. And my second piece of advice is to write parentheses so that you do not forget to cube your numbers. And I hope that helps. I'll see you next time.